So you're back on social TV. My name is Virtualana, and today I am joined by Professor Arthur Mutambara, who's the president of the African News Network, agency rather, and also the former Prime Minister of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much.
Deputy Prime Minister.
Sorry, former Deputy Prime Minister of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Lovely. So execution is at the core of your offering today. What does that mean, and how do South Africans fail at delivery?
You know, the starting point is that we must have a vision. We must have a sense of what we want to be, the destination economy. Having done that, then you say, how do I get there? That brings in strategy. Having done that, we say, execute, execute, execute. Doing is more important than dreaming. Doing things is part of strategy. Many people are very good at planning, they're very good at dreaming, but they come short in terms of doing things. So we're saying, let us not have paralysis of analysis, too much SWOT analysis, too much feasibility studies. Let us have a behavior, a tendency towards doing things. That's my major message to the individual. Do things. To the company, execute. To the country, those plans, National Development Plan, Brand South Africa, the Vision, Agenda 2063, let us execute and implement those plans. But more importantly, let's monitor and evaluate the implementation.
Definitely. Professor, the vision isn't only for South Africa, obviously. I think it's for the entire continent. What are the fundamental sort of components that will ensure that more African countries, more Africans collaborate?
The starting point is to realize that South Africa won't make it as South Africa. You're too small. 55 million people is chicken change vis-a-vis 1.3 billion Chinese. Definitely. When you go as SADC, you have 300 million people. That's reasonable. When you go as the FTA area, it's 600 million people. That's reasonable. The African continent is 1.1 billion people. So scale is very important under globalization. When you go to the Chinese, to the Americans and the Japanese and present a market of 1.1 billion people, you make more sense. You get a better deal. So success is a function of scale. Success is a function of continental integration, and the United Africa will do better than individual countries on the continent.
Definitely. And do you think the youth has been emphasized enough for the NDP plan and the execution of it, particularly at the summit today?
Young people are the center of change. The freedom of Africa, the freedom of Ghana, the freedom of Zimbabwe, freedom in South Africa was brought about by young people. June 16, just yesterday. So which means the NDP plan, the Agenda 2063, can only be successful if it maximally utilizes young people, what is called the youth dividend. Young people are the engine of change. Young people are the drivers of change. So unless and until governments, private sector, and civic society maximally harness young people, there will be no joy. Young people and women should be the center of our discussion in the NDP in Agenda 2063.
Definitely. Vision and leadership go hand in hand when it comes to NDP. What are your projections for leadership in 2030? Do you think we have the capacity as Africans and the knowledge to have those leaders by 2030 and by 2063?
I think we don't have a shortage of leadership. What's required is coordination.
Okay.
There's a lot of brilliance, but there's discoordinated and uncoordinated brilliance. What we want is to make sure the leadership on the continent, the leadership in Africa is coordinated and leveraged towards a vision and be part of strategy, but more importantly, leadership in doing things. We're sick and tired of leaders who are planners and dreamers. We want leaders who are doers.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.